The LPGA tour had Caitlyn Clark play, and the LPGA, like, fans, well, the event was taken over by the ominous crowd to go get angry at everything Caitlyn Clark did and everything Caitlyn Clark does and was ever going to do, and made it that she was a problem and not the solution.
The LPGA has sparked a major controversy, and the WNBA is furious. Recently, the LPGA invited Caitlyn Clark, one of basketball's brightest rising stars, to participate in a special event. The outcome? Huge crowds, massive excitement, and a surge of new fans suddenly paying attention to women's golf. The LPGA proudly promoted Clark's appearance, fully aware of the incredible value she brings. But here's where things get complicated. While the golf world embraced her, the WNBA's reaction has been anything but supportive. So why does the WNBA feel threatened by Clark's growing popularity? Is it jealousy or something deeper? Stick around, because this story...
The whole event, they saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women.
But let's think about this for a moment. If women's sports are truly going to grow, doesn't it make sense to welcome a talent like Caitlyn, someone who brings an entirely new audience along with her? The WNBA's reaction, so sharply different from the LPGA's, raises an important question. Is there resistance about protecting their existing stars, or are they failing to see the bigger picture? What makes this even more fascinating is how the LPGA players and fans responded. The energy at the event was electric. The crowd knew they were witnessing something historic, not just another golf tournament. People arrived early, eager to see Clark in action, and stayed long after, engaging with athletes and soaking up the atmosphere. This wasn't just a one-time surge of attention, it was a signal, a sign of growing interest that could lift all of women's sports to new heights. Next, voice LPGA icons like Nelly Korda praised Caitlyn Clark, calling her a breath of fresh air and admitting how great it was to see a new kind of crowd.
LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlyn Clark was there. They knew exactly the value that Caitlyn Clark brought.
They didn't view Caitlyn as a threat, but as an ally, someone who could inject new energy into the sport. The LPGA understood that expanding its audience benefits everyone involved, and they acted quickly to seize that opportunity. In contrast, the WNBA has been more defensive about Clark's rising fame. There's a growing sense that Caitlyn represents a paradigm shift that challenges the league's traditional structure. Instead of focusing on cross-promotional opportunities or how her popularity could elevate the league's visibility, some within the WNBA seem to view her massive fan base as an intrusion. This mindset...
As we know, in the WNBA, when it came to Caitlyn Clark, it was a lot of like, we don't need you, and we were good before, and we don't like your fans, and this, that, and...
By turning a cold shoulder to Clark's popularity, is the WNBA missing out on an opportunity that could benefit not just their league, but the entire landscape of women's sports? The WNBA's hesitation to fully embrace Caitlyn reveals a very different philosophy. Instead of celebrating her power to unite fans across sports, some in the league seem to view her fame as a distraction, as if they're guarding an exclusive club rather than building an inclusive platform for all fans of women's sports. This approach, in stark contrast to the LPGA's open-arms strategy, could hinder the WNBA's long-term success. Today's fans crave compelling stories, bold personalities, and crossover narratives. By shutting out someone like Caitlyn, the WNBA risks appearing disconnected from what modern audiences truly want. In trying to stay focused, they might be missing the chance to build a broader and more loyal fan base.
They did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them, because Caitlyn Clark is more popular than ever.
What makes Caitlyn Clark's stardom so remarkable is her genuine love for all sports. She consistently supports female athletes across different disciplines, emphasizing unity and shared success. Clark has repeatedly expressed admiration for the WNBA and a passion for elevating women's sports as a whole. Imagine if the WNBA had embraced this enthusiasm instead of pulling away. Her influence could have brought new spectators, boosted ticket sales, and massively increased visibility for the league. But instead, their response has been cautious, even dismissive at times. This could turn into a major missed opportunity, one the WNBA might come to regret. By not welcoming Caitlyn as an ally, they've unintentionally created public tension, potentially alienating the very fans they hope to attract. The contrasting approaches of the LPGA and WNBA offer a clear lesson in adaptability. The LPGA viewed Caitlyn's appearance as a moment for growth, a chance to bring in new audiences and expand the game's reach. They understand that women's sports, which often struggle with lower viewership, benefit immensely from cross-league support and solidarity. The LPGA's success with Caitlyn Clark proves that growth and openness go hand in hand. It offers a model that could benefit all of women's sports, if more leagues choose to follow it. As Clark's influence continues to grow, the contrast between how the LPGA and the WNBA treat her fame will likely become even clearer. The LPGA's decision to embrace her could inspire a broader wave of cooperation among women's leagues, a strategy that could elevate everyone involved. Meanwhile, the WNBA's hesitation may ultimately limit its own potential. By failing to seize the chance to work with a star like Clark, they're leaving both loyal fans and valuable opportunities on the table. This is about more than one player or one league. It's about the future of women's sports as a collective movement. If the WNBA doesn't adapt, it may soon find itself watching from the sidelines. As other leagues capitalize on the star power it chose to ignore, the response to Caitlyn Clark's rapid rise has exposed a deep divide in how women's sports leagues operate. While the LPGA's approach shows adaptability and vision, the WNBA's reaction feels defensive, even protective to a fault. It's surprising to see this level of friction at a time when women's sports could benefit immensely from solidarity and shared promotion. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a fan favorite. She's a genuine advocate for female athletes everywhere. Her passion, charisma, and crowd-pulling power make her an invaluable asset to any sport she touches. Imagine if the WNBA had taken a page out of the LPGA's playbook and publicly celebrated Clark's success. What if they had seen her as a bridge connecting new audiences to their league? The crossover potential between basketball, golf, and beyond could have been enormous. And it's not just about Caitlyn's fan base, it's about the broader impact she's having by inspiring young girls to follow women's sports of all kinds. The WNBA could have owned this moment, aligning itself with Clark's journey to amplify the league's visibility. Instead, it's projected an image of exclusivity, one that might backfire, leaving many to wonder why the league seems so hesitant to embrace one of its brightest stars. In today's sports world, fans crave connection, personality, and authentic stories. Caitlyn Clark offers all three. She's not just an athlete, she's a phenomenon. The LPGA recognized that and built an event that felt dynamic, alive, and historic. The fans who came weren't just there for golf, they came for the story, the energy, and the chance to be part of something new. That's where the LPGA showed true foresight. They weren't worried about keeping the sport pure. They were focused on growing it, and they saw Clark as the perfect partner to make that happen. So why hasn't the WNBA done the same? Even more interesting is how fans have reacted to the WNBA's reluctance. Many are openly supporting Clark, regardless of the sport. They want her to succeed and are eager to follow her journey, whether it's on the court or on the course. By not embracing her fully, the WNBA risks alienating not just Clark's fans, but their own. This sends the wrong message to young, aspiring athletes. Instead of promoting unity and shared success, the league's current stance creates division, suggesting there's no room for collaboration or crossover. The LPGA, on the other hand, clearly understands the power of community and mutual promotion. Their approach shows they know exactly what modern fans want: cooperation, energy, and a sense of shared purpose. Their partnership with Caitlyn Clark sent a clear message. They're not afraid of change. They're chasing it. They're not wary of new fans. They welcome them. That kind of flexibility could be the key to their long-term success. While the LPGA capitalizes on the moment, the WNBA seems stuck in a mindset that favors exclusivity over expansion. By distancing themselves from Clark, they're missing out on a larger audience that's ready to engage. Fans today want to see athletes and leagues working together, breaking barriers and celebrating each other's wins. The WNBA's hesitation to embrace this spirit of collaboration could put it at a real disadvantage, especially as other leagues like the LPGA continue to evolve and adapt. The LPGA's embrace of Caitlyn Clark could mark the beginning of a new era for women's sports, one defined by unity, crossover events, and shared growth. Imagine a world where women's leagues openly promote each other's stars, celebrate collaboration, and build shared fan bases. That vision could redefine women's sports, making them more visible, more popular, and more respected than ever before. By working together, women's leagues could create a bigger, more inclusive space for athletes and fans alike. The LPGA's decision to welcome Caitlyn Clark might just be the spark that ignites that transformation. But if the WNBA doesn't evolve soon, it risks being left behind while others seize the momentum. As this story unfolds, one thing is certain: Caitlyn Clark's influence is only growing stronger. The LPGA's bold decision to bring her in was smart, strategic, and forward-thinking. It's a move that will pay dividends for